All right, guys, let's talk about the Dallas Stars. Three straight Western Conference final defeats. Uh, its last 2 years, they've fallen to the Edmonton Oilers. They fire their coach, Peter DeBoer. It was a bit of a wild end to their campaign. And again, just sort of falling short. But the good thing about this team is it's built for playoffs and it's built to be a strong team for a few more years yet. So let's jump straight into the 2025-26 projected lineups.
Yeah, so you've got Rantanen, Sagan, Hintz, Johnston, Robertson, Duchesne, Steele, Faxa coming back after one stint at St. Louis, Ben, Bork, Back, and Blackwell. On your defense, you got Heiskanen, Lindell, Harley, Layabushkin, Lundqvist, Bushell, and Collier Chanok. And then goalies, you've obviously got the Ottinger, De Smith. Um, in regards to just trades, they did trade Dumba to Pittsburgh for Kolyachonok, and the other notable one was trading out Marchment to Seattle for just some draft picks. Signings, obviously Faxa, as I mentioned there, for 2 million coming back from St. Louis, and probably the only other notable mention there is Nathan Bastian from the Devils. Just provides that like gritty forward depth for them. So all in all, probably the biggest move was the coaching change with DeBoer. That was definitely the biggest move that they made in the off season, I guess you could say, after some questionable coaching decisions with Ottinger. And look, rightfully so. You can't be doing that.
Mm,
throwing your number one goalie under the bus for honestly your coaching decision. So, and like you
yeah.
said, they're built for playoffs. They're honestly built for a cup in a sense. They're clearly built for Western Conference Finals. Just not getting past it. And I feel like this team, they've kept a lot of what they needed to keep. They didn't lose too much. They brought in some pieces they needed. Obviously, they're at the cap. There's always those Robertson trade rumors and stuff as well. But all in all, good team. Playoffs pretty much guaranteed again. Granted, it is a new coach, so who knows what happens there. But I still think they are built to go deep and then possibly win. And as long as they can get over like the Oilers hump that has been their crux over the last two seasons, which will be the key. And I guess I'll leave it off to you with that first question. Are they built to get over that crux of whoever they meet in the Western Conference?
Um, well, I mean, look, if the last three seasons are anything to go by, no, they're always destined to lose in the Western Conference Finals. But no, in all seriousness, I think this team has what it takes to go to that next step. It just shows you how difficult the NHL is and the Stanley Cup is to win. And not even win it, just to make the Stanley Cup final. Like you're talking 2 out of 32 teams make that final. They've made it to the final four 3 seasons running. That's a monstrous achievement, and it's not like this team is going backwards. They fantastically re-signed Ben to a cheap as contract, $1 million a year. Re-signed Matt Duchesne after the season he had for what was it, $4 million a year, $4.5 million a year. The guy put up a point per game last season. He's he's signed one of the most team friendly deals I've seen in a long time, and it comes to the back of these guys clearly think that they're close, and they want to run it back, and that's why they haven't needed to really do any major moves to change that because they know that they're close. They fired their coach, which I think was the biggest call because I mean he clearly showed, and this isn't the first time Pete DeBoer has obviously been sacked after making a conference sort of final, but he clearly showed that when the it come to the crunch time, he panics and he makes wrong decisions because yes, okay, there was some stats to back up the Ottinger in elimination games can sometimes can sometimes fumble the ball,
But then
but
then you don't start him if you're going to run off
well,
those stats. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, don't start him. But don't pull a bloke after he's just been absolutely burnt by his defense, left out to dry, and conceded 2 goals that I think every other goaltender in the league would have conceded. I don't think there's a goaltender in the league that saves either of those because he was left out to dry. One is a breakaway, and the other one was an absolute just yeah, a rifle. Like that if he let in 2 of the weakest goals you've ever seen, I could be like, yeah, okay, he deserved to get pulled. I understand that. It makes sense. But don't pull a bloke, especially a franchise goaltender, that's clearly a top 5 goalie in the league after 2 goals when your defense has burnt him. Don't do that. And yeah, I think they made the best call that they could in sacking Pete DeBoer. And and choosing to run it back because this team has what it takes and they're built to do it. They've just got to take that next step. And unfortunately for some teams, it just never happens. Like you look at some like the Nashville Predators team, San Jose Sharks teams that were really solid that just could never take that step to win the cup. Um, I hope that's not the case for Dallas because this team probably deserves to win a cup at some point. I was hopeful that they'd do it with Joe Pavelski in the team.
Yeah,
I just think the guy deserved a cup, but um,
bring him back,
yeah.
bring him back. Nah. um, yeah, no,
I mean, he probably
I
still could play. He could probably still play some meaningful minutes, man. To be honest with you.
yeah, it wouldn't be bad to see Jamie Benn lift it. He's been in the league for as long as I can remember. So I've seen him pretty much my whole NHL life in a sense.
Mm,
Just a little bit before that, so that'd be cool to see him lift it. Like I said though, they're kind of built for it. They don't have much cap or draft picks to really move around to make this team much better. Um, so if it is, it's going to be, some depth pieces either on the D or forward line that they might need due to injuries or whatnot. But
mm,
I really do think this type of team, it really just comes down to coaching. I feel like they were better team roster than Oilers, but they just don't play it.
mm,
And so I feel like the coaching thing can be the biggest wild card for this team in regards to playoffs. But honestly, I don't know what else to say for this team. Like they're just gonna run back basically the same team,
yeah.
different coach, and see if it works. And
Mhm.
there's nothing to tell me that it's not going to. The
There's not
the
much
the,
else you
the, the
can do.
talent is too good. Like if you compare this team to the last team we just did in the Rangers, it's night and day on
Mm.
the amount of quality throughout the whole entire lineup. So
Well, they've got a third line. They've got a third line, and
yeah,
they also don't have a top 6 that we're sitting there going, are they going to be good or not? Like we know this top 6 is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be one of the best top 6s in the league.
yeah. They
They
even
get a
have a really good
full
fourth line. Like their fourth line's good.
what
Their depth into the
exactly?
fourth line. They just got Nathan Bastian who played pretty much all season with Devils. He's not even
Yeah.
in the roster, and he doesn't put up much points, but he plays physical, and that's kind of what
Mhm.
you want when someone's stepping up in the playoffs. So it these
Exactly.
these moves that they brought in, they're like little, but they make sense. They
Mm.
make really
And
big sense for this team.
because they didn't really need to do anything else. Like they don't need a top 6 improvement. They get a full season of Mikko Rantanen. You look at their defense. Where are you going to strengthen that defense from? It's not going to happen. Like outside of getting depth pieces, this team doesn't need anything else. And some of those depth pieces, like Bastion, who's probably not going to play every game, but he's there as a depth piece. He'll be in the minors for a fair whack of it, but he's there as a depth piece if they have injuries. That's how good this team is. That the depth they're getting in is backups for the bottom line. Like it's depth for their depth. Like
Hmm.
it's insane. So, and I guess the only thing you could say is their goaltending. Casey DeSmith as a backup.
Mm.
he's he's an okay backup. He did really well for Dallas last season. And if he only has to be a backup, I think that's okay. But realistically, he should never have to play a playoff game.
Yeah,
If we're
yeah.
being honest. But I agree.
that is the one weakness is the backup.
Mm,
That you can, with 1 million of DeSmith plus the 1.5, basically 2 million they have, you can go and get a 2.5 million goaltender if
mm,
you really needed it. Like if Ottinger was knocked out at some point in the season, but
mm,
yeah, that's the only room for improvement. And honestly, that's for a lot of the teams in this
mm,
league is they need like a quality backup. Um,
mm,
and it's kind of a hard thing to get. So
mm.
I don't feel like they'll get it. You're probably going to have to run to Smith. He'll eat probably 20 games or something like that in the regular season. And granted, Ottinger, no injuries, plays every game in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's your strategy.
yeah.
Unless DeSmith just went crazy. But
But the good thing about that, I like Dallas and Ottinger. We've said this about Ottawa. Their biggest issue with goaltending and their backup is Olmark. Doesn't have a good history of playing 50 to 60 games.
mm,
Whereas in Ottinger does. Like
yeah,
he's played 62, 54, 58 in his last 3 seasons. So you don't really need much from your backup, which is the positive around this. Like Casey DeSmith is going to be good enough, but also Casey DeSmith shouldn't be needed in the playoffs. So honestly, as long as this team stays healthy, they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be in the top three, probably top two in the Central. Um, they'll obviously add deadline pieces, but even looking at this team, like I can't really see where you improve it too much. So unless there's like just an out and out player that's clearly going to make them better going into the playoffs, um, yeah, like they just don't need much. Like I
yeah,
think this team, it's either going to happen for them or it's not, and that's where they're at. Their team is good enough. It's clearly good enough. The roster is it just shows you they've got the talent to do it. They just need to pull it together for long enough to make it happen.
mm,
And they've had their heartbreak broken the last 3 years in the Western Conference Finals. Maybe this is the season that they finally get over that hump. Um, but like I'm with you on this. I don't know what else to say outside of it'll be run back. They'll be in the playoffs. They'll probably go relatively deep, and hopefully they can finally like
yeah.
get back into the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, look,
What else can
the
you say?
big keys are that the coaching, how the system works. If the system they implement is a playoff system, that'll work there. So if you're a Dallas fan or just a observer, that's what you're looking for is what system are they implementing. And then I guess the only other question mark you're probably watching is Rantanen on a full season at Dallas. How does he perform? Does he mesh well with this new system that's going to come in? And can he pop off with it and be that carry that you saw during the playoffs? And
Mm,
that's really my two big question marks. That just because Rantanen gets the money and what he did in the playoffs, and obviously the coaching is because it's been completely changed. But all in all, playoffs going to round two, if not further, and yeah, like honestly, I feel like I have hopes that they get over the hump. Whether they get the Stanley Cup final hump, we'll have to wait and see. But maybe Jamie Benn's last season. So it'd be good to see. I feel like this is they're probably their best shot
mm,
year on year with regards to squad because of like a contract like Jamie Benn and Duchesne and stuff. I think
mm.
this is their best shot for going the whole way until retool type work has to be
Mm.
mentioned.
So one of the things I will point out, just on a very optimistic note from the head coach side of things, obviously the new head coach Glenn Gulsan, I don't know if that's pronounced
You had
correct, so
one
I'm
job.
sorry.
You had one
I'm
job.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's incorrect. Um, but I actually ran a little bit of a test a while back looking at head coaches and when they won the cup and when they went to the new team. And it's funny because like he's been a head coach at Dallas before back in the 2011, 2012. And I think he head coached Calgary for 2 years as well at some point. But the funny thing is, trend that I saw for the coaches who actually won Stanley Cups is generally they had only coached for two or three different teams and had never won the cup prior. Most coaches who have already won the cup, gone to the team, to a new team, they generally, a lot of the times, they don't go on to win another one. So it's usually a new coach that has coached already for a team at some point, and then comes to that team either as the second team they're coaching or third team they're coaching, and they're the coaches that go on to win. It was just an interesting. Obviously, it's not every winner, but a large chunk of them followed that trend. And yeah, like this is his. Uh, Technically, it's the first team he coached, but it's his third stint at head coaching. And yeah, so I'm interested to see if that follows the trend.
Mm.
Um, it
Yeah,
might
it's
just be that
pretty
lucky.
rare to come in as a new coach and have this type of team, I would say.
Mm.
Like
Oh,
it's a different scenario compared to like a lot of the coaches that when they come in, it's normally retool rebuild scenarios.
mm.
Um, so he's a lucky man.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
can make him look good. The players, that's how
could
good
could
this
you
team is.
imagine coming in first season, winning the cup, and taking them to the
Oh, y-
taking them past that Western Conference
you can
final
tick
into
it
the
off
Stanley
your
Cup?
bucket list of things you had to do in your life. Like there you
I
go.
mean, that guy's probably signing a 10-year contract if he wins the cup. So, but yeah, like I just thought I'd point that out for any Stars fans there. Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but it was just a funny trend I've sort of noticed with coaches that go on to win the cup. So,
Nah, it's
mm,
good, insightful, something new. Um, but yeah, I don't have too much more to add there, so we'll leave it there. Great team, not much to say. Playoffs, couple bust type scenario, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the season to come. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our other content. But until next time, we'll catch you guys.
see you guys.